We're at the 22nd CROI. I'm Fred Schaich with IFARA, and we're here with two women, Maria and Kate from the Well Project, which was begun a number of years ago, quite a number of years ago.
Correct.
And this is a program that kind of directs advocacy from a woman's perspective. So I'm going to leave you introduce yourselves a little further and tell us a little bit about your background.
Well, I was diagnosed with HIV at the age of 16 in 1989 and diagnosed in 1991 after my 18th birthday. I have pretty much since the year 2000 been in activism and an advocate. I'm known as an international social media activist, an educator, and a motivational speaker. I've done work with the CDC and womenshealth.gov, and I, do a lot of things as far as community testing, prevention, education, but I also try to educate through my life story as far as treatments and also alternative treatments and combining them, because it has been very effective for me. April will be 26 years since I've been I was infected, and I believe that I'm healthy because I take my medication and also because I do a lot of alternative treatments.
When you say alternative, that could include nutrition, exercise,
correct,
all of that.
Juicing, exercise. I drink almost a gallon of water a day.
This is something I don't do enough of. I have to force myself to
You
do
have
it,
to, yeah. The skin is the biggest organ in our bodies, and it needs to be hydrated. We need to have our liver and our kidneys, with so much toxins from our medications, we need to have them, working well and flush that out. And I combine a lot of also as part of my culture. We combine a lot of herbs and supplements, and I always make sure that I tell my HIV specialist what I'm doing, because some interact with our HIV meds, so we don't want to do that either.
Right, exactly. And Kate?
Well, I found out that I was HIV positive in 2006 while I was pregnant, and it came as a surprise. It wasn't something I was expecting at all. And when I looked for resources, I Googled things, and the first site I came upon was the Well Project, and so I got involved with them, and they've been sort of my accurate and reputable resource for me.
So what are some of the advocacy issues these days? Because I know there's many, and women are different than men.
Yes.
Chemically and biochemically, and you do different things with drugs sometimes. So we have to know that their action on you is going to be no different than men, or if there is, how to deal with that.
Correct. There's, we were discussing this today and many other days, and the part of the Well Project focuses on that, trying to get us more involved in these in specific cabs that have to do with new medications and research. For women, she was just discussing the statistics.
Yeah, there's a disproportionate number of women in HIV studies. It's my understanding that about 1 in 10 patients studied is a woman, whereas 1 in 4 women are living with HIV in the U.S. So I think that it needs to be a more accurate representative number of the women.
Exactly.
And they're not going to get the answers to the research. So if going in, and the phase trial depends upon which phase it is, if they don't have, even in especially phase 3, if they don't have sufficient number of women, they can't ask the question for women.
Of course.
Then you have to do a phase 4 trial. And it's the same way with blacks. Sometimes there's blacks that has a very different profile, chemically and so forth, and the way they react to drugs and so forth. Yeah. And it isn't really that, it's more the genetics.
Correct.
But the genetics are pretty much in line with the ethnicity and so forth, or the culture. So the thing that I'm mostly concerned about is that we get the issues that are on the table for you folks, the challenges and so forth. Getting more women in trials, I know that's one big one. What about the ability to take control of reproductive, and also not only reproductive but sexual situations?
Well, we were discussing the fact that, for example, we've been hearing a lot about PrEP, and most of the times when you hear about PrEP, they talk about men and MSM. and we need to be included as well as women and take control. There's a lot of women that are in domestic abusive relationships that cannot afford to ask for a condom because they get beaten up, or a housewife is not going to ask their husband for a condom. So I think that they should not exclude us, they should include us more. And we should be, as women, more proactive and empower other women, which is what we do in the Well Project too, so other women could feel that they have rights and that we can make a difference. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make those changes. And
where the Well Project is still in what, North Carolina?
It's actually based in Brooklyn, New York, I
Brooklyn.
believe, but it's global.
Right. It's virtual.
Correct.
Yeah. But didn't it begin in North Carolina, Asheville?
I believe so. Dawn Everett is the founder, and now Krista Martell is the executive director, and is based in Brooklyn. But we cater to women, and we have women from everywhere, from India, from Africa, from Latin America, from Europe, everywhere. And this is very important to us because this is, like, for example, my vision has always been, as I'm one of the founders of the biggest online support group in the world. It has over 30,000 members and growing, and it's from all continents. And I always said I never want to focus on one group because this is a human condition. And that's the thing that I love about the Well Project, that they cater to women from, doesn't matter what background, what age, what ethnicity, what religion, or no religion. It's just we are all empowering each other.
So when you have your group, how do you organize? I mean, because you're so virtual.
Yeah, it's really hard.
We have an online community, so we blog and we respond to one another.
Do you have some sort of a list a listserv that you follow on?
Yeah, so there's emails that get sent out, as well as webinars that we attend.
And we also do a lot of webinars for the community.
So you attend those that are outside your organization, but you also produce them inside your organization, for your organization.
And for the community.
For the community, okay.
We do Treatment Advocacy 101. We've done workshops on that. We do webinar like we're about to do for the, I'm one of the ambassadors for 2015 for the NWGHAAD for womenshealth.gov for Women and Girls Testing Day. They have linked with the Well Project, and we're going to do a webinar about, it's going to be 3 phases: the medical aspect, the aspect of the humanizing it, storytelling, the woman telling the story, and I'll focus on how I branded my name in the social media and how to use this tool to spread our message.
Because there aren't a lot of other organizations that can or do what the Well Project does.
There's none. We're the only one that caters to women and girls globally.
So it was really a niche to fill.
Right. And my personal support group online, it's the biggest one in the world, and it's the only one that I know exists, and it's in both languages, and we interconnect each other from all over the world. So it's very important to have that, because we link everything. Like the blogs from the Well Project, we post them there. If your organization needs to post information of anything that you're doing, it's like you'll get a bunch of traffic, and people are hungry for information. So this is the reason why I founded that group, which is the international support group for people that are infected and affected. I knew that there was a necessity for it. There's a lot of people, because of the stigma, that do not want to go to support groups. So we made the space for them. And then, in social media, you pretty much could be anonymous. And so a lot of people are more willing to be open about their status and get support.
Well, I'm going to make a kind of a standing offer here, because I very much respect Dawn and the group that she founded years ago, and it's still, especially now, producing good results. The offer would be to create a program of your own right here.
Right.
For the, as we're doing, but I don't need to be a part of it. You can run the program. And
you could be a part of it.
Well, I don't need to be. I'm just a default interviewer or panel host. But I really do feel that every organization can benefit from what we do, and offer technology, so you can create a program that will be valuable to you. Of course, you're offering, this can be on your website.
Yeah,
So
also, and
you
all my
can-
social media.
Right, because it's an opportunity for everybody to learn a little bit more about you
Yeah.
and about you as a person. I mean, you're here, you're in front of the camera. We're doing a little bit of a show here,
Yeah.
but it's talking about the CROI, which is really important to everyone in science. It may be hard for you to get it, but some of it you may be able to translate.
Of course.
Not translate it in language, but translate it in
More
science.
basic, and also make it more
Yeah.
basic so people in the community are able to understand
Right.
it.
And we are doing that ourselves. We're doing a program called Understanding the Science of AIDS and HIV. We did one
It's
on
needed.
hepatitis, we did on PrEP, because all of these are things that are important for people to understand.
Exactly.
And then they can go to the science and get it a little better.
Correct.
So,
I agree.
But I don't know if you've been in some of those programs where the science is steeping
Yeah.
and it's going right over your head.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like
It's
they
happened
said
here.
in the meeting, they said in the early meeting in the morning,
Yeah.
the advocates meeting, there are times where even the scientists,
Of course, they're puzzled.
yeah, because it's the science is always changing.
Right.
So unless, as a scientist, you stay abreast of it, it does befuddle you a little bit. But we're trying to be a little bit like Lou, or what the Nye, the science guy.
Right.
He is a man that does a good job. We used to have Mr. Wizard many years ago.
Yeah.
And there are a number of people who have done what they can to translate this steep, complex science
Right.
into simple speak or more simple language.
Right, which is needed.
And it's needed. So,
Yeah, that's
so
exactly what we're hoping to do here, is to kind of
Yeah.
take more of what we learn and try to make it simpler to understand.
And sometimes other
Yeah.
community magazines will do a lot of that as
Yeah.
well, as you know that. So it's just making those available to people. But I love what you do. It's something that is very sorely needed, and Dawn saw that need many years ago.
Yeah.
And she's quite a champion. And
She's a leader.
she actually ran this program, the Women's Talk program.
What hasn't she
A
done?
few years ago,
Right?
so- And she felt uncomfortable in it, but she was just, she's so poised. She doesn't like when something is out of place. She's very particular about things.
That's how
So
we are too.
I appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So, but is there anything else you wanted to talk about? Because I don't want to miss the opportunity for you.
Well, no, thank you for giving us this opportunity to, express ourselves and give us a voice, and anything that you may need, that's what we're here for, and to learn from each other and to help each other out, and because at the end of the day, it will benefit us all.
And we will put your website up on our screen so that people can see how to get to it and so forth.
Great.
Perfect.
Yeah, I really encourage all the women to, go to thewellproject.org. It's a community that really gives you the support and the love that you need.
Right. And if there's people that doesn't have a chapter in their area or an organization, they can become part of the organization just by contacting you.
And they could just sign up, or they don't even have to sign up. They go to as she said, thewellproject.org, and they don't only find our blogs and our stories, because there's women from all over, and they could identify with someone. But we also have the medical area, which is reviewed by very well-known doctors, so it has a lot of medical information and a lot of basic, like HIV 101, the basics, women's issues, OBGYN issues, depression, women and HIV, aging and HIV, premenopause and menopause, and HIV. So everything that has to do with women's issues is there.
Great.
Yeah.
I appreciate it so much in what you're doing, and I thank you, and I hope you have the rest of the conference a great experience.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Likewise. Thank you.